Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Ayanna Clemens, and welcome back to the first Wednesday show of FSU weather. And to start things off, kicking off nice and good over at Doak Campbell Stadium. We've got a nice view right now, 88 degrees, pretty pleasant with those winds 12 miles per hour, kind of cooling things off just a little bit, but right now we're still sitting as a hot spot of 88, and a couple of 88s actually on our board in Quincy. So we've got a lot of 88s going across the board here for our temperatures. And for our tropical outlook, a piece of great news, nothing to expected for the next 7 days, which is always great news. And honestly, just because the fact that it's the middle of our hurricane season right now. Now, for our show today, we're going to kick things off with our first weather show of the year, of course, and then we're also going to be talking about some of those fall temperatures that you're kind of seeing with those low temperatures for us, as well as the Wild Weather Wednesday. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening, I'm student meteorologist Sloan Delaney.
And I'm Ainsley Goebel.
Yeah, welcome to the first Wednesday show of the year. Very exciting. Excited for the first Wild Weather Wednesday segment. We also have a special show today because all of us are from the Midwest. It's Ainsley and I are from Omaha, Nebraska, and then Ayanna's from Naperville, Illinois, so really representing the Midwest today.
Yeah, we didn't even plan it. It just
Nope,
happened, but we love to see it, all our Midwest girlies.
Yeah, exactly. We also did want to mention that today, kind of like Ayanna mentioned, is September 10th, which is actually the official peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. So if you didn't know that, little fun fact. But we were talking about how it's kind of crazy because there's no tropical development the next 7 days, even though we're at the peak. So
yeah, I think I did see like the National Hurricane Center put out at 2 p.m. just a slight chance, but I will believe it when I see it at this point. It was like a 20% chance, and we've been seeing that fizzle out, especially with all of the dust. It seems to be very dusty over the Atlantic right now. So
yes, lots of dry air, lots of that shear, keeping the hurricanes away. So we'll hope to continue that on.
Yeah, especially after the year we had last year was pretty busy. We could take a little bit of a break or be grateful for the break that we have now. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Are you excited for the fall-like temperatures to start?
Oh, yeah, for sure. As soon as I left Nebraska to come down here is when they finally started to pop up in Nebraska, and so I was really mad about that.
But I know back home it's
now we're back here, and hopefully we'll be our turn soon.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I think we're going to take it on over to Ayanna here for the local.
Thank you, guys. Yes, so I mean, I've been feeling some of those fall temperatures myself. I'm kind of liking it because I am also from the Midwest, and I'm just used to those colder temperatures, but I've kind of adapted to some of these warmer temperatures, especially across campus right now. 88 in Tallahassee, like I was saying earlier, and also 90 in Panama City, so nice and warm and clear over there. And look at our camera, it looks very gorgeous as well. And those temperatures are also still nice and toasty, especially in Quincy and Tallahassee at those 88s, and just a little bit cooler, especially towards the coast. They might get some more breeze there as well, but regardless of the fact, we're in the 80s all across the board. And on our radar right now, we're actually sitting nice and clear. Look at that, nothing on our radar, so that's always good news. No rain, nothing really to worry about for us here in Tallahassee. And as we head into those late night hours, those temperatures are actually going to drop a little bit. So we're going to feel some of those fall-like temperatures like we were talking about. Look at that, we're going to be at like 71, look at that, at midnight, and then starting to cool off into those early morning hours. You can even see 65 when you wake up if you are an early riser. So it'll be nice and cold. Grab that jacket if you have an early morning class. But as you can see, as we head throughout the next day or so, we're not going to see anything to worry about, maybe a few passing clouds, but really nothing on our radar as well for the next 24 hours. And those temperatures, again, like I was talking about at night, are going to be a little bit cooler. 66 here in Tallahassee and nice and clear outside, so honestly, get out there. It might be a great night to be outside, and you can even see that we're sitting in those 60s pretty much all across the board as well. Now, tomorrow afternoon, things are also going to heat back up, and we're going to see those those high 80s as well, 89 in Tallahassee, and so you can even see 87 in Perry, so a little bit warmer in the afternoon, and unfortunately, when you're heading to class, so it might, ramp up in those temperatures. I know I felt it on the way to class, but as we head throughout the week, you can see those 90s are going to continue for us all 7 days. So we're going to still see those 90s as our highs, but our lows are in the 60s, so a little bit more relief in those overnight hours. And we're sitting nice and clear for the next 7 days. Isn't that great, Sloan? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely very excited to have a little bit cooler temperatures, especially at nighttime. Speaking of cooler temperatures, Miami is actually our coolest point right now from all of our Florida cameras. That's because they do have some rain and some storms. We'll get into all that in just a second, but first let's go ahead and call out some of these temperatures. We've got 90 degrees in Tampa, 90 degrees as well in Panama City Beach, so they're nice and warm, maybe if you want to have a little bit of a beach day. But right now, really all across the entire state of Florida, most of us are in the 80s, 87 right now in Tallahassee. Again, just a little bit cooler down in Miami, West Palm Beach, sitting right around that 80-degree mark because of, again, some of those storms and showers that are cooling them off. Here in the Big Bend, though, no storms, no showers to worry about, just a few areas of some ground clutter. Definitely the opposite story, though, as we move south. So a lot of these storms actually moving to the east off the coast. So if you are in places like Fort Lauderdale, Miami, yeah, you're probably getting wet right about now, but in the coming hours and the coming days, you're going to be a lot drier. So that's definitely good news. We also have a few scattered showers as well, really covering the entire part of central Florida. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these cities. Jacksonville, Pensacola is next as well, but in Jacksonville, it's actually a little bit cooler than average. So even getting into the low 80s as we get to the weekends with those lows right around that 70-degree mark. And then as we get to Pensacola, Florida, which is where our wonderful Wednesday team leader, Jack, is actually from, a little bit warmer, so hovering around that 90-degree mark for our daytime highs. And then again, right about 70 degrees for our nighttime lows. Taking a look into the next few days, though, really not a lot to worry about as we get into Thursday and Friday. Just a little bit more cloud cover, hoping to, again, keep us on the cooler side. Tonight's also going to be a little bit on the cooler side as well. Most of us in the mid-60s, 66 in Tallahassee, 67 over in Gainesville. As we get more to the south, though, we're going to see lows in the upper 70s. As we take a look at tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit warmer compared to what we saw today. Most of us sitting around that 90-degree mark, but either way, great idea to go ahead and get outside because it is going to be nice and warm. Now we're going to go ahead and take it back to Ayana with a look at our southeast. What's going on in the southeast?
Yeah, thanks, Sloan. So I mean, we're definitely going to see some of those cooler temperatures, especially as we head more north of the southeast. But you can still see Tampa nice and warm, 90 there. They got some clouds going on. Actually, like Sloan was talking about, as you head more south, you're going to see some of those storms. And I need to definitely let my parents know. Parents, if you're watching this, you're going to see some storms in southwest Florida for sure. But if you take a look at Birmingham, nice and warm, and 87 there as well. So you can see that those warm temperatures are still hanging around in this afternoon, and you can even see on our radar, most of the southeast is pretty clear. You can see most of those showers are a lot more south of Florida. So if you're down there, again, you're probably getting some of that rain right now, but you might see some of those showers, especially south of Louisiana, towards New Orleans. But other than that, we're nice and clear, especially up north in Atlanta too. They're nice and clear, and as we head into the next 24 hours, you can see some of those clouds again lingering down in the south of Florida. But other than that, really nothing to worry about for us. Now those current conditions outside are very nice and toasty. Jackson sitting at 91, nice and hot there. 88 here in Tallahassee as well, so it is still nice and warm here as well. And 90 in Tampa. They are always very warm, especially this summer when they hit their record temperature. Now, for Birmingham, Alabama, for the next 4 days, you can see those temperatures are still going to sit in those 90s for us here, so it's going to be nice and warm in Alabama if you're up there in those lows, in those 60s, because they're getting some of those fall-like temperatures from that cold front that made its way through. Now, New Orleans, not as much of the same story. You can see those lows are still in those 70s. They're getting some more warm temperatures for those lows and those highs in the 90s as well. So that's going to continue with nice clear skies for the next 4 days. And you can even see for tonight in the southeast, again, New Orleans a little bit warmer, 76, and up north towards Jackson, 66. But same with us here in Tallahassee. We're looking at 66 there, and as we head south and towards the south parts of Florida, we're hitting those mid-70s to even upper 70s. And tomorrow afternoon, heating up just per usual. We're going to see those 90s, especially in Tallahassee and Montgomery. But yeah, that's pretty much all we're going to have with us here in the southeast. And now we're going to take an even broader look at the national with Ainsley.
Yeah, thank you, Ayana. So we're going to start off with our temperatures. Right now, we've got this omega block system that we have all over the U.S. It's kind of the high area is over the Central Plains, sandwiched in between two lows. And when that tends to happen, it tends to sit there for a couple of days like we've been seeing. So it's pretty quiet, especially in the middle of the U.S. like here. But we are going to see that low still circulating down there and another low kind of circulating up off the coast, as well as some out west. There you see a lot more precipitation coming off of the Rockies right now. In terms of the future, though, it's pretty quiet for our outlook here. Some passing clouds, especially down here in Tallahassee. We had that cold cold front come through earlier, and now we're going to be expecting another one in the next couple of days. That's a little bit further ahead, but for your 72-hour rainfall, that low is going to be making its way across the west and bringing itself over towards the Central Plains. Still kind of stuck there though, because with that omega blocking pattern, just tends to sit there, and you'll kind of see that precipitation hits the same spots there as well. And for your SPC outlook, it's going to kind of show that. It's going to reflect that. And so you're going to see in the Four Corners area, that's where a lot of it tends to get centralized for us here, but nothing too severe in terms of your outlook there. And if you find yourself in Seattle, you're going to get some sunshine here for the next couple of days. Slight chance there on Sunday. A little bit of cooler temperatures. That would be my pick there. I'm a little jealous of that. We've got the heat going on down here, but in Chicago, you're going to be warming up into the weekend where you might have a slight chance of rain there. Looks like you might have a 60% chance there on Thursday. Depending on what part of the day, it might be sunnier other parts. But for your temperature outlook, again, you can kind of see this omega block here. So I'm going to show you, it's like the Greek letter omega. That's what it kind of looks like with, again, the central U.S. getting the brunt of the heat here and sandwiched in between two lows. So if you're on the coasts this weekend, that is going to be the better temperatures for you there. Dipping down into the lows tonight, 60s for a lot of us. 70s in some places. It's a little bit of relief from what we have been having, but overall, a lot of you are going to be stuck with the same patterns that we've been seeing. But right now, we're going to take it on over to the desk with our new segment with Ayana and Sloan.
Yes, thank you so much, Ainsley. We're so excited for the very first Wild Weather Wednesday.
That's a
kind
tongue
of a
twister.
mouthful,
Yeah, it
but I'm
really
excited.
is. Oh my goodness, and we're twinning. Look at that.
Look at us.
We're twinning today.
We're both in blue.
We didn't plan this though.
We didn't even coordinate.
We did not.
Yeah, basically every single Wednesday we're going to be doing a couple of different weather phenomenon that happen in the world. So our first one's actually going to be a derecho, which is very exciting.
Yes.
So yeah, we kind of know a little bit more about derechos because we're from the Midwest, and so they're very, very common there.
Yeah,
so
they're not. You probably
don't.
don't know what they are if you're from Florida. I mean, maybe we get maybe a couple, but we haven't really seen many. And to define what a derecho is, it's a fast-moving, long-lived complex of thunderstorms that produce destructive and straight-line winds across a broad area. And so basically those storms, I mean, they seem like they're very fast-moving and that they won't be as much of an impact, but because they're such strong winds, I think people underestimate how strong they really are.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, like we were kind of mentioning, they're most commonly found in central and eastern United States, particularly in the Corn Belts and the southern plains. So very common in the Midwest, where we're from.
Yes, I've seen a couple in Illinois for sure.
Have you really?
Yes.
That's so cool.
We've had a few come through, and I bet you've probably seen a few yourself.
Seen a few.
Yeah, or at least heard about them. I might have been a little young at the time being, but now I probably find them more fascinating.
Exactly. I'd love to see one now.
Right. And what months or seasons are derechos most commonly found? That would be the warm summer months of May, as well as like August. 70% occur during that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could see probably a few of them, especially as we head into the spring semester.
Yeah, absolutely. So just make sure that if you do experience a derecho, make sure that you're staying inside, you're away from windows, things like that, and just have a way to get updates and alerts and stuff like that.
Yes, safety is always key when it comes to any type of storm, especially hurricanes, since we are in hurricane season right now, at the peak of hurricane season like you guys were talking about. So very important to stay safe as we head into any type of severe weather.
Yes, absolutely. Now we're going to go ahead and toss it back to Ainsley with our last local segment.
Yeah, thanks you guys. We're going to give you one last look at Del Campo Stadium. It is 87, so we're comfortably warm right now. It's getting pretty close to sunset this time of year. It'll start to get closer. Pretty clouds up there. There's some cirrus clouds actually. And we're going to take a look at our radar. Nothing in terms of precipitation. We had a little bit of a pop-up here along the coast. Might have given you a good show from the beach if you were there, but that's all that you have to worry about for now. In terms of tonight's forecast, we're going to be cooling off quite a bit with those cooler and drier conditions, bringing us some lower lows in the nighttime. In terms of your future, this is what it might look like. A lot of passing clouds, but really no precipitation chances to worry about here in the Sunshine State. And in terms of your temperatures, right now, 87 for the most part, 80s across the board here. Looks like our hotspot is up there in Quincy. Maybe I might be blocking a different one. Nope, 88 in Quincy. So we're a little bit on the warm side here. And in terms of your rain chances for the next week, it looks like 10% chance is what we're mostly going to be seeing. Again, that omega block shifting a little bit more there. That's going to come with the high sort of passing over our area. We'll be on the southern edge of it, but leaving us with little to no rain chances here. And in terms of tonight's forecast, we're going to get down to 64, so that's some cooler breezes, more of that fall weather finally coming. We've been alerting you guys about that the past week. I know we're all just itching for it, but in terms of tomorrow afternoon, we're going to heat right back up into the upper 80s, 89 here in Tallahassee. I know that's not super comfortable, but just bear with us and we will get through this soon. Now we're going to take it back over to the closing desk.
Thanks, Ainsley. Yeah, I'm definitely itching for that fall weather. I mean, when I walk to class, I always break a sweat. It's nice and toasty out there, especially in the middle of the day. At the morning hours, it's not too bad, and even in the evening hours when we leave after the show, it's not terrible.
Not too bad.
But when that sun is beaming, it is just very hot outside.
I know, it's so hot, and then it's so cold in the EUAS building. It's like, I don't want to bring a jacket with me because it's so hot outside, but it's so cold in here.
Right, I always pack a jacket in my bag because I spend about like the entire day here.
The entire day.
Yep.
We live here. Yeah.
Basically.
But we love it.
Yep, we do. And even speaking of this weekend, we don't have a game.
I know.
It's so unfortunate.
But we've been killing it.
I know.
We've been doing so good.
I mean, yeah, like we're undefeated.
I know.
And we will be undefeated.
Heck yeah.
Tell that to UF.
We're going to
Like Ainsley was saying on Monday. But yeah, no, so if you honestly wanted to get out of Tallahassee for the weekend, not a bad weekend to do so. You won't be missing out on any awesome football that we be having.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all we have for you guys. Follow us on X at FSU Weather.
Also, make sure that you follow us and like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And as always, follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
And of course, make sure to subscribe to us where you're watching us right now on YouTube at FSU Weather.
And follow us on TikTok. We have TikTok at FSU Weather.
Yay.
We're going to give you one last look at the 7-day.